Now I have all the pieces for the bustier. I just have half of it, the other half is underneath because I cut it in the double. Have my patterns, all my pieces cut out and ready to start sewing. And I have my bra cup also cut up. And I have two of each. So this is the foundation for the bustier. It's canvas. I'm gonna use canvas this time. And we're going to do an exposed zipper. On my center back, I have the line, and that line is where I'm gonna fold the fabric. And I already measured my zipper, and the expose of the zipper will be 1/2 inch. So I already came in 1/4 inch extra. I have 1 inch seam allowance on the back, and I already came in 1/4 inch more for the exposed zipper. I have 1/2 inch seam allowances all on the sides of the pieces that are going to be attached. They have 1/2 inch seam allowance. I have 5/8 on the bottom and 5/8 on the top, I believe. Let me see, let me check my pattern. Yeah, I have 5/8 of an inch on the top and bottom 5/8, and all the other pieces that are gonna attach together, they are 1/2 inch seam allowance. My bra cup does not have seam allowance because it's gonna be abutted to each other, and I'm gonna be sewing it by zigzag. I'll show you all those steps. And my center front, it doesn't have, it's not cut on the fold. It's 2 pieces also. And because it's gonna be abutted and zigzag on the middle. And the foundation center front is not cut on the fold either, because it has a shape. It comes in a little bit on the around the waist, and then it goes up again, a little bit on the tummy, because it's below the waist. I should have measured that, how long it's below the waist. I have my notch for the waist, so I'm gonna measure from the notch down to see how far below to the hip. It's like about 5.5 inches, because if I take off the seam allowance, like about 5 inches from the waist down on the center front, and on the sides it's like about 3.5. So it goes from 5 to 3.5. I'll show you a sample. So now that I have all my pieces cut out, what I'm gonna do next, I'm gonna take them to the ironing board, and I'm gonna press. I'm gonna give them a lot of steam so I can start shrinking it, because all this fabric is not washed. It's not clean, because I like to use it how it comes from the store, and every time I steam it, it will be shrinking a little bit. So now we're going to the pressing board. So now that I'm in the pressing board, this is my center front, the bra cup center front, and I put both pieces together. I'm just gonna show you what I do in one piece, but I do the same thing for the rest of the pieces. So I'm gonna grab my my iron, and I'm just gonna put it on top, and I'm gonna give it a blast of steam. You can see the steam going. So I'm gonna turn them around, and I'm gonna do the same thing to that piece. I'm gonna give it the steam. I'm gonna let it cool a little bit, and I'm going to put them aside, and I'm gonna let them cool like that. Right. So I'm just gonna let it cool. I'll do the same thing with my foundation. I just give it a good pressing, and a lot of steam. Some of the wrinkles will not go away. I'm gonna try a little bit of vinegar in my spray bottle. This is not vinegar, this is just the water, just plain water. But I will try the vinegar. So I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. I'm not too worried about those wrinkles, because once the boning goes in there and all the stuff is gonna make it stiffer. So that's what I do. And then I push it aside and I do the same thing to the back. Right. I do the same thing to all the pieces. So I'm gonna use the inside for the right side of the fabric, right? So I'm gonna use this as the wrong side. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to fold it this way. I'm gonna fold it on my pencil line. So that will be my marking for the zipper. Ready? Let me do that and I'll be right back. Okay. So I'm gonna fold it just right on my pencil line. I guess I should have done it like this. I did it on the wrong side, so it's kind of hard to fold it this way, but that's okay. And I have my notches. So I'm gonna guide myself with the notches. It should have been on the right side, the line, but I didn't think about it. Okay. So I'm gonna come. I like to do this. I like to mark my fold on the back since the very beginning. That way when I'm ready to start sewing the boning, I don't go beyond that point. So remember that when I folded, when I marked the center back. I have 1 inch for the center back, and I went beyond 1/4 of an inch. So when I sew the zipper is going to be exposed. I'm using a lot of steam. I'm going to try not to stretch it, just put it aside. And I'm going to do the next one. I'm going to guide myself from notch to notch. Steam. And I fold it. Cool. So now I have both pieces, right? And this is the center back. This is my center back. So the zipper will be exposed 1/2 of an inch. Awesome. So I'm gonna let it cool a little bit, and then I'm gonna do the rest of the pressing on the rest of the pieces.